got a clear path, Charles. We'll talk about it more in depth, but the first thing I'll just say leading up into bracketology is I think there is only one important game this week in the district tournament starting. We'll break down all the district tournaments and where everyone's at, but I think there's only one important game if it happens. Rio Rancho's got to beat Cibola in District 1 5A tournament.
Cibola got to beat Santa Fe.
Well, there you go. If it all works out, Rio Rancho and Volcano Vista potentially Friday night, I think that flips them, whoever wins that game, in the seeding process. So I think there's only one important game in the district tournament.
That's a major game. You and I are talking about this off the camera, saying, hey, if Rio Rancho wins, it helps the seeding process because they have such a strong resume. Volcano wins, now you're sitting with a Valley team saying, wait a minute, I think our schedule, our record, we won our district, we can make an argument for that 5th seed. Now the Vikings have a chance to pretty much sit there that nice 5 seed or whatnot. But if Volcano pulls this off, or if they find a way to win, now where do you put Rio Rancho? Where do you put Valley? So it is, you're right, that's a big game, and I don't think people realize what's it going to do to the bracket if Rio Rancho wins. We don't know what's going to happen.
Real briefly, Rio Rancho was seeded 3rd in the district tournament because their 2 losses to Volcano. Okay. But technically, they tied for 2nd in their district. So the NMAA has the discretion to seed either above each other. You would obviously guess Volcano's got the nod considering they beat them twice head-to-head. But I think Rio Rancho's resume overall is a lot better than Volcano's. And so if they win just once, I think then it would push them over Volcano Vista in the seedings, which could potentially shake up some other things with Valley. Yes. That's just our opinion. We're going to break that down more into depth.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later because I'm thinking, what if Cibola makes a run and just causes havoc? So that district right now, still a lot of uncertainty as far as seeding. As just like District 5, I think those 2 are the only districts that really can make some movement. The other districts are pretty much set where they should be. I think Cruces and Sandia are hoping for some upsets so they can find a way to get a home game.
In 3 and out, Charles, we'll talk about the bubble, and we don't think there's a big bubble this year. But if potentially there is, you have Oñate and Mayfield. If they make some kind of run into their district tournament, win it, they get the automatic bid, then you push somebody home. We'll talk about who that is later. But let's step up into what was the greatest atmosphere that have been around, or one, I would say top 3 that have been around here in high school sports. I've only been covering it for about 8 years here locally, Charles, as a media guy. But since I've been a resident Rio Rancho High School, graduated 2004, I haven't seen something like this. Bryce Alford, maybe in Colin Neal, but it was sold out at Rio Rancho High School.
Like by Wednesday.
Almost 3,000. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to say the least. So let's get straight to it. And everyone wanted to see these 2 guys. Brady Patterson, yes, he'll start it off. The student section loving it. Patterson again from deep, that's a triple, and it's Rio Rancho who claims that early lead. They were in fact up by 10 early. This guy, monster, Charles. Marcus Williams on his double-double.
One of my favorite players are right here, the Rams, with some defense. Juan Hurt over floor. Look up, give it to your score. That Mr. Patterson, that's Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. Good pass by Juan. But more defense, the Rams out in transition. Patterson, look up. There you go, find your brother. And Brady, he knows what to do with it. Bucket, boom, nothing but net. The Rams are running, 12-8 for Cleveland. Give it to the big fella, Marcus Williams. So strong, so athletic.
This is how Cleveland will be successful in the state tournament. Feed the rock to the big fella and let him work, Charles. Monster game off the bench for sophomore Adam Cook. Finished with 11. Cook was huge. Get that out, says Brady Patterson. Patterson then picking it up 3rd quarter. That's buckets. Both teams combined only 42 points in the first half. They
back and forth
surpassed that, Charles, in the 3rd quarter.
But my man, that Maboo.
That's Maboo.
Scoop right there. He's so strong. Them soccer players always got good feet right there. They always find ways to be crafty and get nice layups. But look, Patterson splits. Juan Hurt in his favorite area, the corner.
You can't leave Juan Hurt out of the corner. Come on.
But Cleveland, Mr. Jones is going to get an action. Long 3 left.
Ryan Jones, 1 field goal in the first half that was given to him. We'll talk about that in a minute, but he was feeling it. Second half finishes with 25 points to the bucket there. Back and forth they go. Patterson answers. And it's Ryan Jones versus Brady Patterson right now. Charles Patterson, a little shake, baseline. Give me that.
I like Patterson with the fake handoff. But, ooh, look at the step back. Jones says, I got something for you. This is not last game. I got something for you. Inbounds play, coach's nightmare. Throw it up there, big fella. Bank shot for Cook. He's one of the best tight ends, but the big fella can shoot it too. Going into the fourth quarter, 45-40, and Juan Hurt. Find it. Look inside Garrison. So strong. Nice move right there.
Garrison
And
finishes
one.
with 12 points, 10 of them come in the second half. He fouled out a little bit later, though. Cleveland always had the answer. Ryan Jones a little bit more attacking this time to the rim instead of settling for three-pointers. Juan Hurt got a steal. All of a sudden, it's a two-point game in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes to play. Brady Patterson was always huge. A little smooch off the window and good.
So hard to stop because he's so good. His handles demonstrated right there. Jump hop in the lane. Count it. Give it to him. Ref. You just hope he missed. That's what hoping for a miss. But answer right back. Jones says, hey, I'll see you. I'll one up you. Scoop it. Score it off the glass. Back and forth. Nice little press. Marcus Williams with the pass. My man Al Cook. Nice pass, big fella.
Adam Cook was monstrous. Zach Garrettson step back three. Back to a two-point game all of a sudden. 17 seconds left to go. Cleveland just trying to finish it off. And we talked about how big Cook was. That is huge. That is your game. Cleveland over Rio Rancho. They are the District 1 6A champions, Charles.
Didn't disappoint us. The game works out pretty much how we thought it would.
Well, I'll tell you, Marcus Williams was so monster. 23 points, 16 rebounds, my friend.
A man's performance right there. That's called a man. Let's see what Coach Smith's gonna tell us, because you know he's
We got
excited.
Marcus Williams and Coach Smith celebrating that district championship. You know it.
Hey, they avenged their loss.
Ryan Jones without a field goal in the first half. Second half finishes with 24 points. What a night for him.
Unbelievable. In that second half, he's a second half player. He turns it up in that second half. And I got to tell you, a lot of credit to Rio Rancho too, but that third quarter is one of the funnest basketball quarters I've ever seen. It was just back and forth. Brady and Ryan and Marcus, and everybody. It was just a fun quarter, fun game to be around.
Well, we couldn't write it any better than that. Congratulations again. You're just.
Well, it was funny, Charles, because we're sitting down next to the coaches, right? So they're both, Wally's on our right side, and then Brian Smith is on our left side. Brian Smith, during play action going on, he looks over at us. He says, "I hope this looks as good on television as it does here on the court." And I said, "Yeah, it does." I mean, he's talking to us mid-game. He was nice and composed, but he was right. It made for great TV. It made for a great story. It was the bout you want to see. In the third quarter, they're trading leads. Brady Patterson goes down and hits a three. Ryan Jones goes down and hits a three, and that's the story.
Great story, and great story of Mr. Smith allowing Salado to score a basket to start the game off. I love what he's doing out there.
More to cover here on uSports Central on a Monday.